Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you guys on some more current latest news. So basically, we know Solskjaer has been fully appointed now as interim manager until the end of the season at Manchester United, as we all currently know. But I've just gone on YouTube, I've potentially just watched Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's interview, his first interview, Manchester United manager. I've just watched it very, very carefully. I think it was about 5 minutes long or something. I can catch up on a few things he did say in the interview. He said it's great to be back. He said he's looking forward to seeing the supporters and the players and stuff like that. He did say the club are running the process, to find a new manager, but Solskjaer said he's going to enjoy the 6 month ride. He said himself, Kieran. He also mentioned himself, Kieran, Michael, Mick, Mike, and the rest of the staff are going to get the players enjoying football, as he said. And also, Solskjaer wants the players to express themselves. He said because they've got 23, 24 odd players that are quality, and he said they'll all be given the opportunity. Obviously, he said, mentioned with the run of games that are coming up during the festive period, he says they're all going to get a chance, to prove themselves. But he did say they are quality as well, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But he also said it's great, as he said it feels like being back home, did Solskjaer, and he's looking really, really forward to it, meeting the players, meeting the staff, seeing the supporters, which Gary Neville had all mentioned in his current interview. But what? All right. All right. But yeah, he said he wants the players to express themselves, as he said, and he did say they'll all be given the opportunity. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? But yeah, he said it's going to be a good 6 month ride. It's 5 or 6 months he's in charge for. It's about 6 months. Yeah, I said 5. I think it was 5 or 6 months. As I said, but he said some positive stuff in his first interview, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think he'll probably do a good job. There has been talks if he does really, really well, he could actually get the job on a permanent basis. I don't think he'll get it on a permanent basis, whatever the outcome, as I said, but he's got it now for the temporary basis as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I said, there's still lots of problems to address. As I said, obviously, we paid £1.8 million for Solskjaer, to lend him off mould. Obviously, he was under contract until 2021, as we all currently know. But as I said, Solskjaer knows the culture of the club. As I said, he knows the club inside out. He knows the traditions of the club. And as I said, he's looking forward to meeting the players, seeing the supporters, seeing this fantastic, fantastic stadium. As I said, because he knows the culture of the club. He knows that the club are running a process to try and find a new permanent manager at the end of the season. But he said he's going to enjoy his 6 month spell at Manchester United as interim manager. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, while we're obviously finding a new manager, as we all know. But I've just caught up of some of the things he mentioned in his interview. He mentioned about that all the players are going to get a chance. He said that they are quality and they're going to prove themselves that they are Manchester United players. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also mentioned this, but he said it's great. He said it's like being back home again. This is what Solskjaer said, and he said himself. And the rest of his staff are going to, get the players enjoying football. This is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has mentioned. But as I said, yeah, this is what I said. And he was a great, great player from 1996 to 2007. He scored 126 goals in 366 appearances in all competitions. Won quite a lot of silverware. Very, very good player under Alex Ferguson. He was there, 11 seasons as a player, as we all know. He actually began his career in Norwegian. But we know that Solskjaer doesn't have a good defensive record, when he was manager of Cardiff and Mould. We all know that. So that ain't a great, great reputation defensively, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But he had won 2 Norwegian titles, don't forget, with Mould as well. And also, he's also managed the Manchester United reserve team, don't forget, as we all know. So he has got a pretty decent pedigree with Manchester United. He knows the club inside out, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He is 45 years old. And, even if he does do well and he does perform the miracle and he does get Manchester United, into the top 4, which I can't see happening because we are 11 points behind. We're 19 points behind top, and this is our worst start to a season in 28 years. Don't forget. But now we've got Mourinho's obviously gone. Third manager that's been sacked since Alex Ferguson, as we are more currently. So hopefully Solskjaer can get us playing attacking football. That spirit, that wants to see we saw under Alex Ferguson. What are you making, Dad? What? Pizza and veggies. Oh yeah. Is Bev back? What? Not yet. Not yet. But as I was saying, yeah, Solskjaer's going to get around £50 million to spend in the January window because reportedly Ed Woodward is backing him in the January transfer window to get a couple of players in, maybe see some players go, but still lots to do on and off the pitch, thinking about his lineup, tactics, buying players in January, contract renewals as well. So Solskjaer's got to think about that as well. But we know he likes the whiff, he likes playing good attacking football, as I said, but just picked up on some of the things he said during the interview when he's looking forward to it, and he has got the reunion with Manchester United as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It was a fully appointed interim manager, as I said, so that's confirmed. He wants the players to express themselves and show that they're quality and good enough for Manchester United. But yeah, players that have been underperforming, as we all know. Hopefully he can get them being back consistent again. Paul Pogba's going to be interesting to see how he performs under Solskjaer. As I said, because he was very inconsistent over Jose Mourinho. I think if he's still inconsistent under Solskjaer, I would get rid of Pogba. Same with Lukaku. If he's still inconsistent under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'd get rid of him as well. Sanchez is obviously injured till January, as we all know. We've had a few injury problems this season, as we all know. But it's going to be interesting to see how he lines up against Cardiff. This is obviously currently his ex-team that he used to manage, as we all know. But I think he should. I think Luke Shaw will be set for return. I think he should put him at fullback, Luke Shaw. Delort at right back, because they are good two fullbacks, making them decent runs, making them overlapping runs for Martial and Marcus Rashford as well. Maybe put Lindelof and Bailly centre backs. I think Bailly obviously he's been out of favour this season, but I think he'll get more game time now under Solskjaer. So Fred may got more game time under Solskjaer. Andres Pereira, he's been discussions about leaving in January because he's had an irregular game time this season. But I think if Solskjaer gives him more game time, I think he may consider staying at the club. Recently refused to sign a new deal with United. Matic, who I said I had concerns about Matic when we did get him, but I thought at the time I was back in Mourinho, he would have been a good player, but he hasn't been good this season. But Solskjaer somehow could improve these players that have not been performing, which majority of them, and they haven't been playing to the potential level, as we all currently know. So Solskjaer may be able to improve them, as I said, but I think Martial and Rashford have been good this season. I think they can grow and develop better under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and potentially if he promotes the youth, he can promote the youth as well. I hope he does. He may get the job on a permanent basis, but I don't think it will happen, to be quite honest with you, because Ed Woodward and the board are thinking about, like recommending on a full-time basis Pochettino at the end of the season, or Zinedine Zidane, and a few other names have been mentioned as well in the current process. So, yeah, so Cardiff Saturday, 5:30 kickoff. As I said, and it's a busy Christmas period. But Solskjaer said every player, in the Manchester United team is going to get a chance. You never know, he might even start Mason Greenwood one game if it won't be Saturday, because he's done very, very well for the reserves as well, as we all know. But there's still lots and lots to do. But reportedly he's going to get £50 million in January. Ed Woodward wants to get him 2 signings in January. Reportedly he wants to get a centre-back in, wants to get a winger in as well, reportedly. And we know Toby Alderweireld's a potential target. Douglas Costa's been a potential target as well. But reportedly, it actually said in the press yesterday that Manchester United were actually planning to get a centre-half in and Douglas Costa just hours actually before Jose Mourinho's sacking. And obviously, So, yeah, if you've heard his interview, you can see it on YouTube. If you want MUTV, you can see it on MUTV. He did mention that he's happy to come to the club. It's like being back home, he said, because obviously he was here 11 years as a player, and he also managed the reserve team, so he knows everything inside out. And Manchester United does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know. If he did really, really well and he did promote the youth and he got us scoring goals and he got the team playing very, very well and he got the team gelling together and scoring goals and, individual players performing very, very well. Who knows to say he won't get the job on a permanent basis, but as I said, I don't think he will. He's here for 5 or 6 months. He said he's going to enjoy the ride in his interview, and he said him and the coach, him and the staff, Kieran, Mike, and Michael are going to get the players enjoying football. As I said, but he did mention he wants the players to express themselves. That's my words. And he said they're all going to get a chance, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So there's some of the things he said during the interview, his first interview, as I currently said. But I think he'll go back to mould anywhere. I think he'll go back to mould in, when he's 5, 6 months, 10 years up at Manchester United as interim manager. Or if he does achieve top 4 at Man United, which I can't see happening, but if he does and he makes a huge turnaround at the club, then who knows? He might get offered the job in the Premier League, will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But yeah. But as I said, we could also see players leave. So if we see players that are being inconsistent, as the one, the Jose Mourinho, the majority of them, obviously there was only David De Gea into his potential level. But I think, if Paul Pogba's inconsistent, still under Solskjaer, because Pogba's going to get the starts under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, obviously. If he's inconsistent, then I'd get rid of him. Because when he's on form, Pogba's like 2 players in one in our midfield. Same with Matic. If he's inconsistent under Solskjaer, I'd get rid of him. I'd get rid of Matic anyway, because I think Matic is too slow. He has no tempo to his play. Same with Fellaini. I want to get rid of Fellaini. I've wanted to get rid of Fellaini for a long time. We paid £27 million for him from Everton back in 2013. We got him under David Moyes era. Is Solskjaer going to give Juan Mata more regular game time as well? Because he wasn't getting first team starts, under Jose Mourinho, Juan Mata. We've had him here since 2013. I think he's been a very, very good, consistent player for United as Juan Mata, to be quite fair. But at fullbacks, I think Valencia could go, because I don't think he's going to get first team option now. Antonio Valencia, he has been here like nearly 10 years now. He has won a few individual awards, won quite a lot of silverware here. But obviously he's had a few injury problems this season, Antonio Valencia. But reportedly his agent has actually been in discussions of him making a move in the January transfer window. I think Valencia, from his own perspective, does want to leave in January. He's coming to an end of his deal. Juan Mata, there's been no sign of Manchester United getting him a new deal at the moment as well. Herrera as well. We have got a lot of players coming to end the deals, so Solskjaer needs to address this as well. Would it actually cost Solskjaer if he was to actually try and get these new players deals at Manchester United that are coming to the end of the deals as well? But it'd be interesting to see how he lines up against Cardiff. It should be Manchester United win anywhere, as I said. But if you just tuned in, just watched his interview, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's mentioned that the club are running a process to try and find a new manager. He's going to enjoy the 5 or 6 month ride here, as he said, and he's looking forward to seeing the players, the staff, and he said him and the staff and the rest of them are going to get the players enjoying football. But he did say every one of them players who he mentioned the quality, he said they're going to get the chance and prove that they are Manchester United players. So that is good. That is a good suggestion that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has currently said in his current interview, because he knows the culture of the club, he knows the club inside out. I think he could do a good job. It doesn't, even if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter, because we haven't lost out on out anywhere. Because even if he does do very, very well, I don't think they'll give him the job permanently anyway. I might be wrong, but I can't see it happening. But even if it doesn't work out, we're in a bad position anyway. So he's come at a time where we're already in a bad position. We've had injury problems. We need to think about contract renewals, lineups, tactics. Players obviously underperforming, and obviously Solskjaer's got to try and get them performing better and playing better and getting players playing more consistent and stuff like that. So he has. It's not easy. It's not easy at this stage. It's not like he's come in the job playing very, very well, and we're at the top, because we're nowhere near on the same levels as the likes of City and Liverpool and all that, as we all currently know. But yeah, that's the interview. So go on, check it out. As I said. But reportedly, he's going to get around £50 million to spend. So reportedly, Ed Woodward's backing him in this window. As I said, we can maybe see a few players go in January, as I said. But he's going to get around about £50 million. What's being mentioned is Toby Alderweireld, Douglas Costa. The Toby Alderweireld situation, reportedly, it could cost Man United in the region of £30 million. He's a player we were linked to last summer from Tottenham. Man United were in discussions last summer to get Toby Alderweireld. Reportedly, it cost us around £30 million. I think he's got a 25 million release clause next summer. I do have reservations about him. He's been on the decline for the last 12 months. But when he does play well, he can prove to be a world-class central defender, can Toby Alderweireld. And if you did put him alongside Bailly and you did put him alongside Lindelof, I think he'd complement that defence fantastically well, Toby Alderweireld. But he is one of Manchester United's main priority targets. There's been no signs of him signing a new contract with Tottenham, and Tottenham's still got a strong back line without him there. They've got Vertonghen, they've got Davinson Sanchez, as we all currently know. So yeah, Man United have been linked with Toby Alderweireld. Eddie Metellio, Porto player, 20 years of age. Man United have been linked with him as well. He's been in the senior team quite a few years now. He's an ex-Sao Paulo player, where he's risen up the youth system with them for a good 6-7 years or something like that. He's now at Porto. Reportedly, he's worth around £40 million. He's got around a 40-odd million release clause as the player is under contract with Porto, I think, till 2023. He's in the main priority target for Man United, but they have been interested in him as well. But he is only young. Is this player, so reportedly Man United have been interested in him as well. Koulibaly were mentioned. He's been mentioned again in the press today. Reportedly Chelsea are also interested in Koulibaly. Manchester United have obviously been linked to him as well. It did confirm in the media yesterday that Man United, it actually confirmed just before Mourinho had been sacked, so this is when Mourinho was in charge, that reportedly Man United put a staggering £95 million in for the player. He adapts every area of his game very, very well. Napoli actually valued him at around £90 million, so if we were to get him, he would be the most expensive defender in the world. But reportedly, the Napoli president had confirmed in the process that Mourinho had actually put this £95 million bid in for the player. Ed Woodard had been in discussions with the officials. I think we'd had 2 previous bids rejected before Mourinho put this £95 million bid in, and Napoli rejected the £95 million bid, as we all currently know. But reportedly Chelsea have been interested in him. Obviously, Sarri's obviously used to work with a player, when obviously Sarri was at Napoli, he used to work with Koulibaly, as I said. But I think according to the Napoli chairman, they are refusing to let him go in January. So according to the Napoli chairman, they're not willing to do any business in January for Koulibaly. I don't know about next summer, but he's a very, very good player. He's proven himself very, very well with Napoli. He's been there since 2014. He adapts every area of his game very, very well. Has very, very little weaknesses as well, does Koulibaly. He's a very, very good player. And I think if he was to come to United, it would be good to come and see him experience the Premier League, a player of that calibre. And I think he'd do very, very well if he comes to the Premier League, Koulibaly. But he has been one of Manchester United's, main priority targets. But I think it feels as though that obviously now Solskjaer's took over for the time being. Obviously, that's going to be too much money for Koulibaly. He's around £90 million, as we all currently know. And he's still under contract with them till 2023. He's made like 29 appearances for Senegal as well. But he has been a potential Manchester United target. For £90 million, we could probably get, two world-class. We could get 2 central defenders for that for probably £90 million. To be quite fair, 30 million for Toby Alderweireld, say 40 million for Eddie Metellio. So there's 2 there for less than £90 million. As I said, but Koulibaly, great central defender, and he's highly experienced. And how old is he? 29 years of age. So we would still get a couple of years out of him to come. If Toby Alderweireld was to come, we'd get longer out of him, obviously, than if we would then Koulibaly. But Toby Alderweireld stirred up suggestions when he put a like on social media the other week, as he updated you on, and that stirred up suggestions a bit that he would maybe want to come to Manchester United. Toby Alderweireld. But also, Douglas Costa was also mentioned in the press yesterday because he potentially mentioned that Man United were interested in him. Obviously, we want to succeed in these windows, as we said, because when we had Jose Mourinho, we wasn't getting his main priority targets. We was getting like a second, third choice. And of course, the board weren't backing some of Jose Mourinho's signings, during the course of the summer. And that was one of the reasons that led to his sacking, because the performances weren't good enough, were underperforming. The players weren't playing for Jose Mourinho. And Manchester United, big, massive club, historically, with the 26, 27 years success, we achieved under Alex Ferguson, had all them great players, as we all know. And we're start to a season in 28 years, and Mourinho, the only thing I credited Jose Mourinho for was getting us second place last season. Getting us the two trophies he's got us in his first season, which was the Europa League and the League Cup. Obviously, I credited him for that. And also, he's won titles everywhere he's been. So, he has got a good Wikipedia page. As I said, Gary Neville will potentially. He said he'll get another top level job somewhere else. It could be likely he's going to the Bernabeu next summer. Real Madrid reportedly willing to offer him £18 million a year. But obviously the players didn't get on with him here, especially the top players. Paul Pogba's reportedly celebrated his departure. But he didn't get on with the players. He had disputes with the top players, especially Paul Pogba. He had disputes with the board as well, Jose Mourinho. And, the board basically didn't back him during the course of summer. I blame Jose Mourinho for his tactics in his team selection, as we all know, and he did sign a contract till 2020 back in January this year. But when I blamed the players as well, but when the players are not playing to the potential level, I'm sorry, that comes down to management. I'm afraid, as I said. But he's been a great manager in his time as Jose Mourinho because he's won titles everywhere he's been. As we all currently know, it confirmed Tuesday morning. Ed Woodward had told him at the training complex he was sacked. The club had a statement thanking his time at Manchester United, of course, and he did get a 22 million payoff for the sacking. As I said, and he got sacked from Chelsea in 2015 on the 17th of December 2015. And obviously he was having problems there. But as I said, I think Ferguson made a mistake. Alex Ferguson made a really big mistake when he retired. It was wrong for recommending Moyes because he never dealt with top players. He never had a good pedigree. He managed average teams. And, he was wrong. I think if he'd have recommended Mourinho at that moment in time, Mourinho was a bit younger and he was still proven to be a winner and he had a good legacy, then it may have been a different story. But I think, to be quite fair, we got Mourinho a bit too late, as I said. And since Ferguson's retired, we've spent £800 million on players. But we back Solskjaer. Solskjaer we trust. He knows the club inside out, as I said. But going back to what I was saying, Douglas Costa's been mentioned, as I said. He's a really good winner, he's Douglas Costa. As I said, very good winner indeed. He plays for Juventus. Juventus signed him permanently in June this year, as we all know. And he has been a very good standout player. But this season, reportedly, he's been out of favour. He's been getting irregular game time, so he hasn't been getting a lot of game time under his belt this season. Douglas Costa at Juventus, but it was a few reports yesterday that reportedly Manchester United were actually interested in Douglas Costa. He can play on each wing. He's played as attacking midfielder before as Douglas Costa as well. But he's strong, he's quick, he's good in the air. He's got good passing ability. His crossing's supposed to be very good as well as Douglas Costa's. But he has been at Juventus since because he was on a 1 year loan with Juventus as well, was Douglas Costa. But he's obviously never had an experience of Premier in the Premier League. But he's supposed to be a very good player when he does get that game time under his belt and when he is on form, Douglas Costa. But reportedly he's out of favour at Juventus, as we all know. He's an ex-Bayern Munich player as well. He spent quite a few years there. He won 2 titles with them. Established himself there very well. He's an ex-Shakhtar Donetsk player where he won quite a few honours with them as well. In his younger days, of course, he won the domestic treble with them as well. And he was there a good 5 years, and he began his career with Grimero, when he was a lot younger in his prime, as I said. But Juventus paid like £35 million for Douglas Costa, as I said. But reportedly, Man United are interested in getting a right winger in, getting a centre-back in. So that is our 2 main priority targets to get in January. They are the areas Manchester United want to strengthen up. Of course, so Douglas Costa's been mentioned as well. But reportedly, as I said today, there's been a few opinions from Alex Ferguson, obviously who won 38 trophies at Manchester United. Gary Neville had a say, and according to Alex Ferguson's perspective, he thinks that Mauricio Pochettino would be the right candidate, and he'd be suitable to replace Mourinho. According to Gary Neville, as well, Gary Neville said that on Sky Sports, I think Gary Neville said that Pochettino would be the right candidate for Manchester United as well because he's used with young players. He's known for developing young players very, very well and promoting young players. But whoever comes in at the end of the season, Pochettino, Zinedine Zidane, for me, it'd be either Zinedine Zidane or Pochettino because I think they would understand the philosophy. I think they'd have positive environment for the players and the club as well. So I would like it to be Pochettino and Zinedine Zidane, but we know a few names have been mentioned, as we all know, to become our full-time successor at the end of the season. But I think it's Pochettino or Zinedine Zidane that are favourites. But Pochettino, I think I think him or Zinedine Zidane would be able to fix the problems at Manchester United because Gary Neville said we need to restructure, as we all currently know. I think Pochettino would get, when he comes, if he does come in at the end of the season, Pochettino would get the right signings in, promote the youth, develop young players into the team, as I said. And I think he'd give us entertaining football, because he has done great attacking football with Tottenham. He's done very, very well with Tottenham. He's got a good record with Tottenham now. He had a good record at Southampton. I know he hasn't spent much at Tottenham. He's only spent like £50 million since 2014 at Tottenham. We're all aware of that. And mainly Tottenham's built all around him. Pochettino, as we all currently know, because he's only spent £50 million since 2014. In my opinion, he's proven well in the Premier League. He understands the philosophy. And I think he'd understand the strappings of the club at Manchester United, if he was to come in as well. And I do like Pochettino. In terms of where he hasn't won out as a manager, as we all know, he has been managing since 2009. And in his early days, he played 18 years in his playing career. Dimitro Pochettino is going to cost the club probably 35-40 million pounds to get him away from Tottenham at the end of the season because obviously he's got a 5-year contract with Tottenham. But from Gary Neville's perspective, Sir Alex Ferguson's perspective, he would be the right candidate to come in to the club. And Sky Sports, have actually been talking about it. Pochettino, would he, be willing to come and take the Manchester United job? It is now, would he be willing to come and take the vacant job at the end of the season? He did say from his perspective, he's happy. He's Pochettino at Tottenham. He's fully committed to Tottenham, as we all currently know. And he does play that good, entertaining football, and he has got he has got a good squad at Tottenham. He's got a lot of good young players in that team, as well as Pochettino, as we all know. But he's one of the favourites to come and take over Manchester United, as I said. Zinedine Zidane also being mentioned, as we all know. He's another one. Reportedly, as I updated you on my last video today, that Zinedine Zidane has reportedly been offered the Manchester United job. Man United have offered him the job. I think he's considering whether he's going to take it or not. He hasn't been in management since May, as we all know, Zinedine Zidane. But he's got a great managerial CV. He's never managed in the Premier League, but I think he'd understand the philosophy very, very well. He's proven to be a winner, as he's proven it at Real Madrid. And potentially for me, Real Madrid are not the same since Zinedine Zidane's departed them back in May. And obviously Ronaldo left as well. Real Madrid are a mess because mainly Real Madrid was built all around Ronaldo, as we all currently know. But Zinedine Zidane, as I said, I think it would be interesting to come. I think he's destined to come and manage in the Premier League. He's Zinedine Zidane. Of course, he won 3 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid, won La Liga and all that. And he won on, in his younger days, he was a player for Real Madrid. He was a player for Juventus. Also was a player for Bordeaux as well. And he won honours there as well. So he is highly experienced, Zinedine Zidane. And he'd be one of my favourites as well. So I'd want Manchester United to recommend him into the job as well as Zinedine Zidane. And he's won a lot of individual awards as well. But he is they are my 2 priority targets to come in management full time next season. At the end of the season, it'd be either Pochettino or Zinedine Zidane. As I said, also mentioned as Leonardo Jardim. He's well known for developing youth players as well. As I said, but he's no longer Monaco manager. But at the time he was Monaco manager, he was great. He had a lot of great young players, and he developed and grew them fantastically well. And he also won the La Liga with them for the first time in nearly 2 decades. Did Leonardo Jardim, as I said. We know Laurent Blanc's been mentioned as well. He knows bits about the club. He has a good relationship with Alex Ferguson. because obviously he played for us during his playing career in the 2002-2003 season. As we all know, did Laurent Blanc. He obviously played in his youth career with Montpellier as well. That's where he began his playing career in Montpellier. He played for Barcelona in his playing career as well, and he's now, he's obviously not managing now. He stepped down, I think, as Paris Saint-Germain manager back in 2016, but he has managed in France at the top level, so he's well known. He's highly experienced of managing in France. He's Laurent Blanc, but obviously, do you think he'd have them? Do you think he'd have great managerial credentials to come and manage in English football? Because he's never managed in English football, so he's never had any experience of managing in English football. Laurent Blanc, as we all know, but his name has been potentially mentioned as well. So too as Leonardo Jardims. As we all know, we know reports coming out of the press today that Conte has been mentioned. Wouldn't be for me, Conte. Definitely wouldn't be for me. I think he's willing. He's up for the task. He's Conte. He'd be willing to take the job with Conte. I know he won the Premier League and the FA Cup with Chelsea. Did Conte, and he's obviously managed Atlanta. He's managed Italy. He's managed Juventus, and he played for Juventus in his career. And he has proven to be a winner. And he has won quite a few trophies during his manager time, and as a player as well. And he's won quite a few individual awards, but Conte wouldn't be for me. If he were to come in, I'd have a lot of negativity, to be quite fair. But I wouldn't want him to come in because I think he's much better than Conte as well. But a lot of managers' names have been mentioned, but I think it's going to be either Pochettino or Zinedine Zidane that are going to be the favourites, as I said. But yeah, that's just my own opinion on it, guys. Everyone has a different opinion. I don't think a lot of United would like to see United recommend Conte into the job. But as I said, this is a great time for Solskjaer. The club he knows in and out, inside out. As I said, he knows the culture of the club. He knows everything of the club. As I said, it's great. It's great for him to come back to the Premier League to experience these fantastic facilities again. Get to see the players, get to see the coaching staff, and it's going to be a great thing for Solskjaer. This and coming to a club with a 76,000 capacity fan base, as I said. But he did say in his interview they're all going to get the chance, as I said, and he says they're going to prove that they are Manchester United players. He says they are quality. But he said it's great. It's like being back home again. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he said him, Kieran, Michael, and Mike, and all that are gonna get the players enjoying football, and he wants the players to express themselves. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? So this is some of the things I'm telling you. What he actually said in his interview, and he said he's gonna enjoy his 5 or 6 months ride here. But he's really looking forward to it. He is very happy about it. Obviously, he's reuniting with a club. He loves Manchester United because he was a great legend for Manchester United, as we all know. And he likes to play with a width, as I do keep reminding you as well. But yeah, so drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe to the channel, as always, guys. And take care. God bless, guys. And I'll see you all again on my next video, guys. Bye.